Axios has uncovered a policy change coming from Governor Ferguson's office. The outlet says a new rule has been delaying information, sometimes important information, from reaching the public. Axios says the governor made a rule requiring most state agencies to get approval from his office when they issue press releases or even before they can respond to reporter questions. Axios discovered emails from current and former state workers who say the approval policy in some cases are being used to avoid tough questions, and that the rule was described as creating a tremendous bottleneck. So Axios says multiple agencies have been delayed getting information out to the public on various issues, including a measles update, vaccine guidance, a WIC program, and bridge repairs. I spoke with reporter Melissa Santos to break down her exclusive report. You broke this story after obtaining PDR requests and digging into them. So explain to us why this is significant and why it matters to the public.
Well, what we did find was that there are delays from the governor's office that are delaying information getting out to the public. And sometimes that's updates about, where vaccines can be accessed. That was the case in one case. And sometimes there's a mild delay in releasing an exposure map for a measles case last October at CTAC. These are things that do affect the public, and I think that if I was at CTAC that day, I might want to know about that measles case and maybe have access to that information a little sooner and not have sort of delays imposed by multiple layers of editing on news releases and such that we used to get straight from the agencies. Specifically with regards to WIC, the Women, Infants, and Children's Food Aid Program, the governor's office, according to the records we found, was instructing the agencies not to take any interviews about that because they didn't want any questions about why the state didn't have any backup funding for that kind of program that helps people directly afford food. And that was from a State Department of Health staffer who wrote that in an email saying, we were just told not to take interviews, and that's not transparent for the public. That's not helpful to people who maybe want to know if these WIC benefits will last in the event of a government shutdown, which is what we were asking, I believe, at the time. I personally was asking. Interviews also have to be approved by the governor's office, to the point that the governor at one point was personally editing or reviewing talking points for the state epidemiologist to talk about bird flu to Politico. And that's an unusual, it seems to me, amount of involvement by a governor in communication with the public and media relations when there are dozens and dozens of professionals whose job it is to do that.
To me, I cannot remember the last time a governor's office had to give pre-approval in that kind of sweeping manner to different agencies. I mean, those agencies have their head. They have the people that lead those agencies, especially when it comes to DOH. And you've got WSDOT, you've got all these, the healthcare authority, as you mentioned. So what are your thoughts on that?
It definitely wasn't common practice among the past three governors. I did not go all the way back to Mike Lowry, in the 90s necessarily, but Gary Locke didn't do this. Chris Gregoire didn't do this. Jay Inslee did not do this. While they would want a heads up about anything that might get controversial, that's for sure, but they weren't requiring press releases to go through them. Press releases about road maintenance. I mean, the governor personally going back and forth over what a press release should look like on I-5 construction really undermines the people who are working at the agencies who do that communication day to day and who are experts in that. And it takes a lot of time. And we were having people say, we cannot do our jobs. We can't get any actual work done, is one quote I found in emails, because we have to spend so much time following up with the governor's office. This is not government efficiency. And I think that is something that this governor specifically talked about, making government work well in his inaugural address. And I do not think the agency officials whose emails I found, who mostly did not want to talk on the record, but were clear when talking with the governor's office, they do not think that this is efficient government.
Santos says the rules went into effect in July, and Santos says the agencies were instructed not to tell members of the media about the new approval policy. She did hear back from Ferguson's office, who doubled down on the changes. Communications Director Brianna Aho telling Santos that a new administration has different ways of doing things and that change is hard, and with dozens of agencies that they, quote, need to be communicating with each other and with the governor's office.